He didn't want to trigger World War III over Korea, which was not that important to him compared to Europe. Eventually, Kim convinced Stalin that they could get away with this.
Kim predicts that the conquest of South Korea will take only 30 days. The war drags on for more than 3 years.
The tragedy is still vivid in my mind. I was 15 at the time. It was frightening. All houses burned down. Rubble, block after block. Burning. Starvation. Everybody living in sheds. When I think of those days, I shrivel. I tremble.
When the ceasefire is finally declared in 1953, North Korea has gained nothing. The original border at the 38th parallel is restored. The country is still split in two. Nearly 400,000 South Koreans have died. 37,000 Americans. North Korea and its ally China have lost 1,400,000. The Soviet Union has suffered virtually no casualties.
Kim was clearly disappointed at the low level of real military backing that he got from Stalin, and that created a level of mistrust that he never completely overcame.
This sense of mistrust and betrayal reinforces Kim Il-sung's philosophy of self-reliance at all costs. It will guide his actions and those of his son and successor, Kim Jong-il, for years to come. Beneath the smiles of Kim Il-sung and the leader of Communist China, Mao Zedong, by the 1960s, tensions are brewing.
The Chinese wage what they call the Great Cultural Revolution in China, and they come to Korea, and they tell Kim Il-sung that you are a bad communist, you look too fat, and you have so many palaces in the different resort areas, and how can a very frugal communist act in that fashion? Kim Il-sung don't stand for this and kick them out, and recalls the ambassador from China and tell Chinese ambassador to go home. Nobody could tell North Korea what to do.
This is the environment in which Kim Il-sung's oldest son, Kim Jong-il, begins his rise to power. His rapid ascension through the ranks culminates in 1980. Kim Il-sung, known to all as Great Leader, officially designates Kim Jong-il as successor. He is now to be known as Dear Leader.
Suddenly this myth appears that Kim Jong-il was born on sacred Mount Paektu, a mythical place where the Korean people supposedly originated in the far distant past, and that at the time of his birth, in the middle of February, flowers bloomed, there was a double rainbow in the sky, and the whole world knew that a great new leader had been born.
In reality, Kim Jong-il is born in a Russian military camp in the Soviet Union on February 16, 1942. At the end of World War II, he moves with his family to Pyongyang, the new capital of North Korea. Little is known about Kim Jong-il's early life. His first job, at age 22, is in the propaganda section of the party.
He made propaganda films, he made musicals, he staged plays. So he's naturally get involved with the actresses. He's been called a playboy, and he likes the women, and he likes to drink, and all the what artists enjoy that he really enjoys.
He particularly likes certain genres of films, such as horror films, including the Friday the 13th series, Elizabeth Taylor films, and Westerns.
At some stage, He decided that the actresses and actors in North Korea were not very good. And so he said, I would like to have Miss Chae, who is one of the more noted actresses in South Korea, here to make movies. And so they kidnapped her.
In 1978, Chae Yun-hee is kidnapped by North Korean agents. When she arrives in North Korea, she is greeted by the dear leader himself.
어서 오십시오. 수고하셨습니다.
There was a voice.
내래 김정일입니다.
Welcome to North Korea. I am Kim Jong-il.
어머 나 이제 죽었구나.
I felt I was now to be killed. I felt as if all my blood fell down to my feet.
6 months later, Miss Chae's husband, the renowned film director Shin Sang-ok, is also kidnapped. Over the next 3 years, they are forced to make films for Kim Jong-il, including a North Korean version of Godzilla.
We had money and all kinds of conveniences, but we didn't have freedom. I was 60 then. I couldn't die there.
Shin and Chae eventually escape, but the practice of kidnapping becomes an integral part of Kim's strategy for destabilizing his enemies. Between 1977 and 1983, several Japanese citizens vanish without a trace.
The North Koreans said we needed Japanese role models so that we could learn from them how to behave like Japanese and how to sound like Japanese when we spoke.
The purpose is for North Korean agents to pose as Japanese, thus providing cover and deniability while engaging in acts of sabotage against South Korea.